All right, Jana, thank you. The superintendent saga continues as the Amherst-Pelham Regional School District is still on the hunt to fill the position.
Western Mass News reporter Reagan Lokri joins us live in studio with a look at the 3 finalists. Reagan?
Abby and Chris, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding this search. The district has seen a Title IX investigation, gender ignorance complaints, and a discrimination and retaliation lawsuit. Based on the school committee's line of questioning in the interview process, it seems they're working hard to get it right. As the Amherst Pelham School Committee finally narrows down their candidate pool for superintendent again, Western Mass News takes a look back at the mountain of controversies the school district has faced in the past year. In April of 2023, a Title IX investigation into gender identity discrimination claims in the district was launched, ultimately leading to 3 Amherst Regional Middle School staff members being placed on administrative leave in May of that same year. They were later cleared. Then in August, former Superintendent Dr. Michael Morris took a temporary leave of absence, citing medical reasons. He officially resigned just days before the start of the new school year. Now fast forward to this month, the Amherst-Pelham Regional School District is still looking to fill the open superintendent slot, with several offers declined, surrounded by more controversy. Earlier this month, a multi-million-dollar federal lawsuit was filed against the district and some former and present administration staff by one of the district's special education teachers and former union leader, Lamiko McGee, for what she calls her advocacy for marginalized students who experience discrimination in the district. In the midst of all this controversy, the search for a new superintendent continues. The district has narrowed down the candidate pool, and it seems the school committee isn't taking any chances on these issues.
What strategies have you used to ensure that the BIPOC population or other marginalized populations are equally have equal access to the high academic classrooms in the high schools?
We have worked with our guidance counseling staff and also the lead advisors who are very aware of all students that benefit from educational programs, and so we make them the key resources to be the information, basically information generators to say, okay, this is coming up, you have this ability, we want you to succeed, and we have a message, which is advanced placement for all.
That was Dr. Susan Gilson, who currently serves as the assistant superintendent for the King Philip Regional School District across the state in Norfolk. Gibson has held the position since 2003. And the next candidate is Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction in Holliston, Dr. Joanne Menard. Menard is credited for creating a school culture and climate club where students had voice and choice in positive changes. This is her response after being asked how she would support students in vulnerable populations if hired.
It boils down to people need to feel like they belong, right? It's to build that sense of belonging and that you matter and you belong. And it's removing barriers for students that make them feel like they don't belong.
Now to the third and final candidate, Dr. E. Zaimara Herman, a superintendent coming all the way from the Virgin Islands. During her interview, the school committee touched on pronouns and gender inclusivity, asking how she would advocate for transgender students. The committee used an example of a teacher failing to use a student's correct pronouns.
Immediately enacting the disciplinary process by having an investigation and meeting with that individual, having a very direct conversation around what occurred, why it occurred, how it occurred. For some individuals, it may be, you have to determine if this was intent, what was their intent, because a lot of times that's what it is. And then going through the process of educating them on what should have been done, but it also depends on what I find in the investigation. One of the things that needs to be done too is clear communication and making sure that the parent understands that we are investigating the matter.
The vote on who will be the next superintendent of the Amherst Pelham School District is expected to take place at a special school committee meeting on Monday. Reporting live in studio, Reagan Lokri for Western Mass News.